Greetings, African people. Today I am going to talk to you about the way dancehall impacts the Jamaican culture. Oftentimes we think that the music influences the culture, but it's the other way around. It is the culture that influences the music. For me, dancehall was a very bad thing growing up in Jamaica because of Christian upbringing. And maybe it was only 15 years ago that I started to appreciate dancehall. Some of you have heard me talk about this before. I took a course called Performance and Change, and I realized the power of dancehall music. And I appreciate the fact that had it not been for dancehall, many of our struggling poor people would have succumbed to all kinds of terrible things if this was not an outlet. So for that reason, I truly appreciate it, and hoping that by the end of this video, the Jamaican artists would have heard what I'm saying and will do something to exact some changes in the dance hall. So I'm going to begin by saying that because as Black people, we are individualistic. We do not try to come together in anything, and dancehall is a great example of that. Now, as a doctor, you are going to be a part of a college that stands in front to protect its members. As a teacher, you're also a part of a college where you have this united front, where you have a union that stand up and represent you. And when there is trouble or dissatisfaction, your union goes forward and speak on your behalf. The music industry in Jamaica does not have this kind of fraternity. And I am wondering why our artists are not coming together to form this kind of brotherhood and sisterhood, trying to protect their rights, their interests, their hard work. Because for so long, dancehall people suffered. Our reggae artists were ripped off. And I've said this before, ripped off by individuals who came in and seized the moment and put individuals out there to perform using their talent, and then a lot of them didn't benefit financially. Now it's a different time, and our artists are smarter that way, but I don't see anyone coming forward and saying, let's get together and form a union. Now, the dancehall and reggae music have suffered so much to the point where they didn't have as much recognition on the international stage, except for Bob Marley, who, took his thing around the world. But dancehall is still waiting for a supersized breakthrough. We have Sean Paul and Beanie Man and Shabba Ranks and Movado and these individuals who have brought dancehall to the world. But there's still many more talented artists. And what I am ashamed to say is those who have made their way out have not done enough to bring the new talent. So what you see is individuals, always claiming the glory for themselves. They don't want to share it, but what they fail to understand is if you are an artist and you are promoting your interest alone, the music will die. Dancehall will crumble and will die, because right now dancehall is getting a really terrible flogging. They've always gotten flogged because one of the things that the artists are not doing is not protecting their craft. You're not protecting your career. So you find people from Europe and around the world coming and sampling your music, which is not a bad thing. Music it has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with just culture. Music brings people together. So I don't have a problem with people sampling the music, because Jamaican people do it too. But what I'm saying is, in the process of learning our skill, learning our industry, it is your industry. Reggae music is ours. Dancehall is ours. Dancehall is a rebellious brother of reggae music, and you're not doing enough to protect it. Now, the first thing artists have to do, all you big name artists have got to come together and stop being the crab in the barrel. Stop saying, I don't care. if anybody else makes it out. It's not a good thing. It's not a good look. So you have women in dancehall who are always like cats, ripping each other's face off, tearing each other down. It is the common thing of the crab in barrel syndrome with African people. Everything we're doing, there's no harmony, there's no unity. Individuals just want to stand out and stand alone and say, here I am, look how wonderful I am. And when you're doing well, you cause aspiration on the other persons who are trying to come out. As is the situation with Vibes Cartel, very talented guy. But you have people trying to pit them against each other instead of recognizing that both persons have their own audience and each person brings something new and fresh to the table. We, as people listening to the music, divide ourselves, rip each other apart for these individuals. Dancehall artists, regardless of who you are, big name or small name, or people who have made it out there, are those who are waiting to bust, as you affectionately call it. It is time for you to come together. Now, listen to how other music industry in the East and the West and North America and Europe do it. They come together. They're inviting you now to be a part of the Grammy in terms of being able to vote. And these individuals take the business aspect seriously. And that's what we lack. As Black people, we are not interested in learning business. So if you want to be a voter in the Grammy, you have to register. You have to become a member. It makes money for those sectors of the world. Dancehall is supposed to make money for you. That is what it generates, money for the poor guy to come out of the ghetto, the one who is struggling, for the individuals in Jamaica who are so prejudiced, who want to see wealth and fortune stay in the hands of people who are light-skinned or people who are privileged. So dancehall is that rebellious thing that allows the poor guy to come out of poverty, come out of the ghetto, and to use his talent as this kind of gateway. You've got to protect it. And here is where the artists have gone wrong because of their jealousy and their bad mind of each other and selfishness. You are allowing selectors to ruin the music. So selectors go in the dance hall, and what they do is say, anybody in the dance hall who wants to make $10,000, take off your panty and whine. And anybody who, shoot up this and that, and the things that come out of these selectors' mouth is atrocious. It is an abomination. And I'm speaking out against it. I'm saying to the artists, if you value your craft, if you're a reggae artist or you're a dancehall person and you value it, you've got to tap these selectors. You've got to say to them, listen, this is very important and we all want to have fun when we get in the dance hall. But you can't destroy our music. It is not the artists through their lewd lyric alone that is destroying the music. It's the selectors. Now, let's talk about these girls that are stripping their clothes naked in the dance hall and doing things that is just making us feel embarrassed and just completely nauseated. Let's take a second look at it because I like to have an aerial view of things. Now, we look at what dancehall it has become, what it was in the past and what it is now. We take a look at, how governments could get involved in watching what is going on in the dancehall scene, and looking at how artists need to harness this thing and protect themselves. But now I'm also trying to give you the view of the girl who lives in the ghetto. Have you ever been hungry? I'm not talking about being hungry after you had dinner, being hungry and want a snack just because you're bored and have nothing to do. I'm talking about being hungry for weeks and days with barely anything nutritious to eat. Have you ever been in a situation where you have your kids and your kids are hungry and for days you cannot provide for them because you live in an environment where there are not opportunities, where there's no work, where nobody will hire you because you have this kind of address and you live in this place they call a dumpster? Imagine that situation for a moment. And then you are a person who have always gone to dancehall because it's your relief. It is your opportunity to forget your problems. And when you get there, the selector says, take off your panty and I'll give you $10,000. Who is going to be on the moral high ground when you're in that situation? Now, I'm not saying every hungry poor person should do that, but not everybody have the strength of mind to make proper, rational decision. Individuals, when they're hungry, will do what they need to do to eat or to feed their children or to send their children to school. So what I'm saying is the selectors manipulate the situation and abuse these unfortunate women by asking them to do things for money. And you can say, yes, you have the choice to say yes and no. But as I said, hungry has no conscience. And when somebody is hungry, they might likely do whatever it needs, whatever it takes to alleviate that type of suffering. So dancehall, until you get out there and you say to the selectors, I will not let you destroy my music. I will not let you have unnecessary hate towards this thing. This is our livelihood, and we're protecting this not just for ourselves, but for our future generation. And until you do this dancehall, you will continue to hear your visa is taken. You will continue to get to the point where you're super talented and you never get the experience. Don't ruin it for me. I've never been to a dance. I've never been to the dance hall, but it is one of my things to do, one of my to-do list. I would want to go there and patronize the dance hall, but I have to wait until there are changes. I appreciate so many aspects of it. I understand dancehall is not just about the music, it's about the culture. But I don't want to see dancehall become the lowest part of our culture that I'm ashamed of. Listen, artists, get together, form organizations that protect your interests and that of the music going forward. And that doesn't just mean dancehall, that means reggae music. When individuals come to Jamaica to learn your craft, they should be paying money. They shouldn't just be coming to sample our music and to go away and make it big and famous. They should pay. You have to pay. If you want to get your song or your album nominated for the Grammys, you have to go through a certain protocol. And the individuals that come to Jamaica to guide you and teach you how to do that, they're Europeans or North Americans. They're making money from you. If you want to be a voter, to be a member so you can vote for an album that more than likely represents your own people, you have to pay money. So you have to take the business aspect of dancehall and reggae music seriously. And so if people come to Jamaica to make music, they have to pay. They have to pay. They have to pay. And the only way people are going to be paying is if you take this seriously. Take it seriously. Dancehall is no joke. It is the voice of the people. The regular Joe, the regular Susan. It is their stories that are being told in this music. And it's very important that you don't allow selectors who are probably jealous of you anyway. Some of them might promote your music and play your music in the dance hall, but some of them don't really mean you any good. They're jealous of you. And so they create ruckus and encourage young people in the country to do all kind of awful things. Get together, artists. Stop being bad mind and jealous of each other. Stop trying to stand up on the plateau by yourself. Get up there and bring somebody with you and protect this beautiful music. Be blessed, African people. Think on these things.